diverse range of applications. DevOps is an increasingly common approach to agile software development that developers and operations team use to build, test, deploy, and monitor applications with speed, quality, and control. DevOps is the combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools that increases an organization's ability to deliver applications and services at higher velocity, evolving and improving products at a faster pace than organizations using traditional software development and infrastructure management processes. Now, I will request Madam Kiran Jyoti to introduce our speaker, Vipin Gupta ji.
Dear students, faculty member, expert of the workshop, Engineer Vipin Gupta, good morning to all. Sir, I just want to give you some information. In this workshop, we have a faculty member of CSC and IT department and 1 or 2 faculty members from electronics and electrical department. So we have UG students with us who are from the background of CSC and IT, and there are some students who are from mechanical as well as from electrical also. And we have PG students also. PG students are also from CSC and IT department. I have been asked to introduce the speaker of the workshop, Engineer Vipin Gupta. Engineer Vipin Gupta is BE, Red Hat Certified Security Specialist, Red Hat Certified Engineer, Certified Ethical Hacker, Cisco Certified, Micro Certified, and he is running his own company, Unit Solutions and Unit Labs Private Limited, with presence in Punjab. The company has got tie-ups with various other companies and organizations for offering consultancy, open source based solutions, high-end training to faculty and industry professionals. He has got more than 23 years of experience in IT-related fields. His specialization is in networking, Linux, security, cloud computing, SDN, and DevOps. During his long career, he has been associated with various engineering colleges, polytechnics, private institutes, and corporate sectors. He is interacting with both corporate and academic world. He is resource person for NITR for various STCs and resource persons for Linux spoken tutorial IIT Mumbai. He is also author of 3 books. He has published more than 20 papers in international conferences and journals. Recently implemented one of his most sophisticated lab on advanced networking and cloud computing at some private university. These labs contain IaaS private cloud, PaaS private cloud, different hypervisors, implementations, DevOps, cluster implementation, automation, and SDN. Welcome you, sir. And sir, I have told you the audience we have with us. We have a mixture of students and faculty, and we have introduced this subject in our curriculum also. So that's why we wanted to train some of our faculty members as well as the students who didn't had this subject in their curriculum. So we have most of the students are from final year or 3rd year, and faculty member from CSE and IT. Thank you very much, sir. And students and faculty member, he will be delivering all the talks during the workshop. And all the sessions will be hands-on. And we have already sent you the mail, what are the requirements for attending this workshop. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So before starting the workshop, let me make certain things clear. When I will be teaching, mostly it will be going to be let me first share my screen. So most of it will be practical oriented. So when I'm doing the practical, you might not be able to do simultaneously because I have to cover a lot of things. So in these 4 days, I will request you when the session is finished, that mean like in 2 days at 1 o'clock, we will finish the session. So try to practice those things, because if I have taken 3 hours, at least you are going to take 4 to 5 hours to practice that. Regarding DevOps, I will just like to share only one thing with the students, that it will increase your almost your job chances by at least 30%. It is going to increase because it is one of the latest field. It is required by all the industry. In the all the industry, you should have the knowledge of DevOps. Now, DevOps is a big field. So in this, we will see what I am going to cover in this. Let me first share that what I am going to cover, and what type of machine I will be using, what software I will be using. And in the end of the session, I will be sharing certain slides also, not all the slides because certain copyright things are also there, but I will try to share as much as demo portion always at the end of the class. So first I will give for 5 to 10 minute only theoretical introduction of the DevOps. Then straightway we are going to move towards the practical portion. When we have done with the practical portion, then I will discuss a little bit more theoretical. In my case, the approach is first practical, then I will try to explain the theoretical concepts. That is my philosophy. That might not be correct, but I always find it very useful. So I will be first introducing what is DevOps, what were the traditional models, only 5 to 10 minutes. Then we will see what are the different tools in the DevOps that we have to use, in which what tools we are going to cover in these 4 days. So let me first introduce you with the DevOps concepts. So hopefully this screen is visible. So I'm starting with,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. So now when we talk about DevOps, now this is the buzzword in industry. Everybody is today talking about DevOps. That means they are adapting the DevOps. And please remember, all the big companies, AWS, Google, your Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, they all are using the DevOps. And the best the company that uses the DevOps, that is Netflix. Please remember, when we talk about the Netflix, almost 1/5 of the total network traffic they call is of the Netflix. So Netflix company is totally runs on the DevOps. So first off, we have to see what is the DevOps. When I talk about the DevOps, it consists of two terms. Dev mean developers, programmers, who creates the code. Like when we say Office was created by the Microsoft, their developers. So that it was the part of their developers. But now, when they have created that Microsoft Office, we need to install that. For installing that, first we need some operating system. So that is the work of operation people, or we sometimes say they are networking people. That means they will set up the lab. And in your case also, like I said, when the ma'am was saying what are the requirements for this lab, I said that I need two type of Linux. One Linux will be Ubuntu 24 0.4 version, and second is going to be CentOS 7. So what the GNE people did, already on certain system they have installed that operating system. So that was the work of networking people. So DevOps. Now, what was the problem with this DevOps? Mean developers were working separately and operation peoples were working separately. Now it is the merging of two branch. Now mean these days the developer should have little bit knowledge of networking also, mean operation knowledge also, and operation people, networking people, they also should have little bit knowledge of this the development practices also. So this is merging of. So let me again give one simple introduction. This practice requires software developers to collaborate with IT operations. I always use one example, although that is not in the good sense. We always say that in our family, Sas Bahu, they are not just for joking purpose, I am saying that normally they are not on good terms. Same way, DevOps people, developers and operation people, they are always two different group of people. Now, what the DevOps is doing, it is trying to make them. Again, please, I will be giving certain examples. Please do not mind those examples. It is just for the purpose of example. So that means this practice requires software developers to collaborate with IT operations team, which are responsible for making software run quickly, smoothly, and efficiently. Now, what are the different tools which are required, or we can say what are the best DevOps tools? Like when I suppose I have to go from Chandigarh to Delhi, bus is available, my personal car is available, we can go through the aeroplane also, or by train also. That means different mediums are available. Now, if today I have to go from Chandigarh to Delhi, I cannot use all the medium. Today, what is the best medium? According to, I am going to use that medium. Same way, when we talk about DevOps, lot of tools are available. So when we talk about the tools, Kubernetes is there, Buddy is there, Slack is there, Negos is there, Git is there, Jenkins is there, Docker is there. These are the main popular tools. But when we talk about whatever Jenkins do, Buddy can do also, or whatever Buddy can do, Jenkins can do also. So it is not that I have to use Jenkins as well, Buddy also. So we have to make certain choices. Same way, for collaboration, you can use Slack or Git, and Negus is your monitoring tool, and this Docker is your deployment tool. Sometimes we use Docker and sometimes we use Kubernetes. So different tools are there. So in this workshop or in your syllabus, we have got three very powerful tools that we are going to discuss. First one is going to be Git, then it is going to be Docker, then it is going to be Jenkins. First, we are going to talk about these tools individually. And then in the end, in the last day, we will try to combine all these things. When we talk about DevOps, it is not a single tool. It is a combination of many tools. And sometimes these three tools are also not sufficient. We need other tools. But again, there is always some limit how many things you can put on the syllabus. So in your syllabus, you have got Git, Jenkins, and Docker. And please remember, when we talk about Docker, 50% DevOps mean Docker. And this technologies, whether you are into DevOps or not, this technology, you have to use this technology. So in this, we will be discussing the three technologies, Git, Jenkins, and Docker. And these are industry related technologies. That means in industry, almost everybody uses these technologies, especially when we talk about Git and Docker. And Jenkins is also used. So in our case, we will be covering these tools. Now, again, little bit theoretical again, then I will move to the practical. Now, when we discuss about the software development, always people say that we have got three models available with us. One is Waterfall Model, and please, a lot of literature is available. So I will keep my discussion a little bit brief, because most of the time I want to be on practical things. Once we have understood the practical things, then understanding theoretical is easy. So three different approaches are there. Waterfall approach is there in software development. Then Agile approach is there. Then DevOps is the latest approach. So let me briefly cover. In Waterfall model, what used to happen? Suppose I want to design one product, new product, which will work like a Office, Microsoft Office. So that means, as a client, my requirement is that I want some Office productivity suite. That means in design phase, what the company will ask, what are the requirement of the customer? In our case, now my requirement is that I am not satisfied with this Microsoft Office or LibreOffice or OpenOffice. I want some new Office. So that are my requirement. Now the company people, what they will do, they will analyze what are the requirements, what other feature I want in this productivity suite. Then they will create one exhaustive documentation. That means this is going to be this in this software, this is going to be this. Then what will happen, it can take 2 to 3 months only, simply design phase. Then what they will do, their that company, suppose ABC company is there, now they will start creating that office. Now creating software is one thing, and then they have to test it, and creating can take again 3 to 6 months. It will depend upon how much feature I want in my office suite. Then testing again, it takes lot of time. Then what will happen, after testing of, that is ready, we have to deploy. And each phase can take from 2 to 3 to 4 months. That means if today I have ordered the product, it could be 1 year when I will get. That is waterfall approach. Mean the time we have got the idea, the time that it get delivered, it could be 1 year. Just look at the Microsoft's product. I'm talking about their 2000 server. After 2000 server, their next product was 2003 server. That means it take 3 years. Then after their product was 2008 server. That means after 5 years, it took the new server version to came. Then 2012, 16, 19. That means even a company such as Microsoft, it takes 3 to 5 years. So these days, this is not the recommended practice. And sometimes what happens, suppose I have ordered the fridge, that I wanted the company to create a fridge, and what they have delivered, they have not delivered the fridge, they have delivered the TV. That means sometimes our requirements are different, and that the product that has got delivered to us, it is something different. So at the end of most of the time, almost 80% time, when we use the waterfall model, the products, the final products are not the way we wanted. So these days, this is not the approach. So then what came? Agile model. In agile model, they do not take this 1 year or 2 year to deliver. Now, when again my requirement is again that office. Now in agile model, what they are going to do, that means first way they will start designing the word, because in office it will have word like software, their PowerPoint type, assess type, then Excel type. No, instead of designing all the things, so what they will do, they will start working on the word. So they will design first word, then build, test, and deploy. And that small period is also called sprint. It can be between 2 to 4 weeks. Please remember. Now, once they have delivered that word, that means client can start using, and then they can go towards the making PowerPoint. Then that means it is a incremental delivery. That means once I have ordered, it could be in 1 month or 2 months, I will start getting the software. So that is agile. That means it solved a lot of the problem, but still these days, 2 week or 4 week is again a lot of period. So now the DevOps people, what they have done. Now suppose again I'm designing the word. Now when I will be designing the word, that means first option should be that I should be able to type. Then I should be able to bold that, increase the font size. Suppose on first day itself, they have given us the facility of typing, of bolding. So what they will do, that means that small portion they will release, they will build, test, and deploy. Then next day they might be italics, increase the font size. That means every day, or some companies they release almost 5 to 6 times a day, or some companies even hourly their new releases. So DevOps is basically continuous delivery. That means continuously we are creating the code. Then that means whenever we are going to create the code, automatically that code will get built, then it will get tested and it will get deployed. That is the DevOps model. So totally these days companies are moving towards the DevOps. So when we talk about the build portion, that means coding portion, we need certain tools. Let me further elaborate, then I will go. That means little bit, that means waterfall, then agile, then now DevOps mean every hour you can say new version is available. So again, if I'm going to say what was in those models, in waterfall model, structured linear approach was there. That means one another problem was there. That means what once the client has specified the specifications, no changes were possible. But in this case, agile, the changes are possible in DevOps also. So what was the period? Again, 10 to 15 minutes I am taking, so that we should know what is the important part, why we are using, why in the syllabus Jet, Jenkins and that Docker is there. So because we want faster thing. So when we talk about the waterfall model from 70 to 90, the waterfall model was more prevalent, structured linear approach, upfront planning, and most of the time it was documentation. The more stress was on create documentation. So that was the, so what was the problem? High time to market. That means if today the product we have got the idea, it could take 2 years, 1 year, delay return of the investment. And if the project is continuously changing or the client's demands are continuously changing, then that is not suitable. Then agile, the period was from 2 week to 4 week, less time to market, quick return on investment, and continuous availability. Or sometimes we say that incremental product delivery is there, and lack of stress was less on documentation. Then DevOps real time. That means today, if I want have started the product now, even after 1 hour, I will be able to deliver something to them. Continuously changes and delivery. But the problem is because DevOps requires two departments to work very closely, development and operations. And please remember, in 95% of the companies, these two departments are always at the loggerhead. That means they are not even at proper terms, these two departments. So culture changes are requirement, because developers need the knowledge of operation and operation needs the knowledge of developer. So that means currently 2000 from 10. But again, although here it is written to 2010, but from the last 2 or 3 years, it has gained the momentum, your DevOps. So again, let me share another slide, then we will move towards our practical things. Now, when I talk about again the waterfall model, mainly when we deal with the software development, one is customer, that means which requires certain software. Other is the developer, which is going to develop the software. And third is the persons who are going to develop. Sometimes what happens, like medical softwares, if you have ever seen the companies which create the medical software. So once they have created, then they send the special, that means certain technical the persons to deploy that software in the hospitals. That means operation team is there. In the waterfall model, all three used to work in isolation. That means once the customers has given the specification, the software developers will start developing the product. When they have created the product, they will give it to the operation people. They are gonna. That means in between no conversation is there. So what happened in agile model, and that is why I've shown the walls there. That means all three teams three stakeholders were working independently. But in the agile model, what happens? Developers are continuously taking the feedback from the customers. That means customers are more involved. That means if they have given some that we want this thing, later on after one cycle, they can request some new changes in that. but again operation team is different. So little bit more agile approach was there. But in DevOps, continuously all the three, customer, developers and operation teams, they are working in the harmony. So that is the DevOps approach. So let me move from here. So now when I have discussed about these things, now in every cycle, like build is very important, whether it is waterfall model, it is agile model, or it is DevOps model. After design, immediately the coding part starts. Now, what happens traditionally, even our students, when we say that please create some Python project, what they are going to do? They will create a Python project on their systems. Now, when the teacher will say that show us the project, or the teacher will say that send the project to us. So most of the time when the students send the projects to the teacher, 80% times it does not works, because sometimes when you have created the that Python project, you have installed certain libraries or certain things, that means it is working on your system. But most of the time when you are going to send it to the teacher or some other person, normally it does not work. Then one famous excuse is there: it works on my system. In industry also this is the problem, one major problem is there. That means when they are creating the software, when the developer is creating some software, it is working perfectly on their system. But when they go for the testing, or when they go for testing or production system, it does not works there. So for that means we have to properly manage the code. So, and sometimes what happens when we are doing the coding, we want to add certain things. The moment we add certain new functionality, that code breaks. That means the one of the most important thing for any model, waterfall, agile and DevOps, that is build, that means coding. So for that we have to use the tool Git. So in our case, today most of the session is going to be on Git and GitHub. And please remember, when we talk about DevOps, when we have covered the Git, that means we have already covered 15 to 20% of the DevOps. And please remember, when certain software companies comes to your campus for the placements, this is I'm talking about to the student. Sometimes I have seen certain companies, they rejecting the students because they do not know how to work properly on this Git or GitHub type of things. I have seen big companies rejecting the candidates on the basis of this. So this is one tool which is as such is also required, but which is very important part of your DevOps. So let me straightway go to the Git. So first, again, I will be discussing in 10 to 15 minutes what is this version control system is there. In our case, which version control system we are going to use. We will be seeing it all practical. So that was a little bit introduction about the DevOps. Now, when we talk about the JIT, this is basically a version control system. That means now sometimes when we talk about this version control system, we call this shortly as VCS also. We got confused. What is this? Why we need this? So for that, I will first take one simple example. When these version control systems were not there, how we used to work. And please, we will be also talking about one GitHub also. That means I will be talking about Git is one software and GitHub is one web hosting site. Let me give a little bit introduction about GitHub. GitHub is the largest open source Git hosting website. That means most of the time developers, when they have to create their code, they use this GitHub site. Even in my case, if I were to put certain code, certain course material, I always put it into the GitHub also. And when we are going to use GitHub, it will give you two options, public and private. Public mean when you are going to put the code there, it will be available to all the public. But this is free. That means GitHub has got two type of account available. One is public account, one is private account. Private account is their paid. That means if we do not want our source code to be visible to other people, so we can use the private option. But 80% time on GitHub, we generally host open source project. Now, why we are using the Git? Because it is faster than the other version control system available. Subversion was there, Mercurial was there, Bitbucket is there. The benefit of Git is it is very speed. That means when we are deploying the code, we are creating the code, when we are cloning the code, or when we are creating the branches, the speed is very. And second thing, simplicity is there. And please, when I'm talking about simplicity, that means I'm saying that when we compare it with the other products, it is much more simpler. But I have seen the people using Git for the years, but sometimes they are not able to comprehend what are the fundamentals there. So I will not say that it is so much simple, but here they are writing the simplicity. That means it is simple in uses than the other products. Then branching and merging is there. Now some of these concepts might be aligned to you, but when I will be start giving demo, a lot of things will become clear. Then it is decentralized scalability. And please remember, one of the biggest product open source Linux kernel, that is itself is hosted on this by using Git. And another big project Kubernetes, again it is hosted on this your GitHub site. So scalability is there, where thousand or even lakhs of people are developers are involved. That means Git is able to scale up. Now the problem is why we need the Git, why we need the version control system. So normally what happens, like in my case also, normally when I write the chapters of the book, what I do, first suppose I have written 4 pages, I will save it as a chapter -1. Then again, when I'm going to write another 4 pages, I will save it as a chapter -2, 3. That means the moment I am putting more and more material in my document, I try to save it as a version 1, version 2, version 3, version. That means we always say save as. But there is one problem. Suppose I have written first page, second page, third, or if I've written 2 lines, then I have edited this, third, fourth. You cannot go back. That means you cannot go back to the previous versions. But if you have created only one document, but what happened with the Git? Suppose I have written one Python program. I have written certain line. Then I edited the code. Then I further edited the code. Then further edited the code. That means if the final is not working, we can revert back. Even if this is not working, we can revert back. So both way, it is possible. In this case, only the forward. That means once we have made the changes, like in Word document, if we are going to save, then we can revert back. But in this case, even if we have saved this, we do not use the word save here. We use the word commit. You can go back. That is the beauty of. That means that is why this version control is used for the software development. We continuously go on changing the code. So that means if in 1 year I have made 200 different changes, then 200 different versions are available. I can go back to any of these versions. So that is the beauty of using Git. So again, I have given these cartoons. Normally what happens when we prepare our thesis or report, we prepare our report, we go to our teachers or invigilator, then he makes or she makes certain changes, then that person's again make changes, revision 2, again it will check, modification. In the end, it happens sometimes 20, 30, 40 different versions are available. That means one of hell of a job. So that is the traditional way. Now we are coming towards why we use the VCS, mean version control system. Made a change to code, realize it was a mistake, and want to revert back. So it is possible if you are using the any of the version control system. Lost code as backup, that was too old. Because in this, what is happening if you are using the GitHub, and please remember, the code is always going to be available. And sometimes even I've seen if some person has got 10-year-old software is available on their GitHub code. So normally in our laptops, generally to save the space, or sometimes when the space has fulfilled, we generally try to delete the older project. But in this case, all is available on those. Again, had to maintain multiple version of product. That is also now sometimes what happens now sometimes the products are launched according to the countries also. That means this for this country these features are available, for this country these features are available, or this is available in English, or this is available in Punjabi. So multiple versions of products we can maintain in version control system. And the other beautiful thing is, now what is the traditional way of sharing the code? Student will send the zip file to the teacher. Now this is the oldest method. No longer it is required. Now if we are going to use the version control system, what the student is going to send? It is going to send one link, and teacher, what the teacher can do, teacher can open that link and try to run that code. So that is that means sharing code is very easy. And another thing, collaboration. Now what is happening, now this is the corona days. What is happening? Suppose one developer is in Chandigarh, one is in Delhi, one is in Bangalore, one is in USA. They want to collaborate. So again, version control system does all this. And then suppose the company has launched one office properly, but they want to add certain feature also. So again, they can open one new branch for that. So version control system is one integral part of any software company. Please remember that. So when now we have to use the version control system, which are the version control system available? The different version control systems are Subversion is there, Mercurial is there, JIT. But JIT is the most used. And please remember, JIT was created by the same person who has created the Linux. That means Linus Torvald has created this JIT. Once the JIT was launched, so most of the people now they use JIT because it is much faster, it is open source, and source code is very small, and it is available also. And another two things I am going to discuss, then we will move towards the practical portion of that. Now when we talk about the version control systems, two type of version control systems are available: centralized version control, then we have got distributed version control. The earlier available version controls was centralized version. That means what will happen? We will create our server. On server, suppose if we have created one doctor repository, that means we wanted to create one software for the doctor. So what we will do? We will create our repository on the server. We will name that repository as a doctor repository. Suppose three developers are there, one in Chandigarh, one in Delhi, and one is in Bangalore. So what will they do? They will get the working copy. That means what they do? They will clone this repository through their local systems. But what will happen? Whenever they are going to make any changes, what they have to do? They have to send the changes to that centralized servers simultaneously. That means continuously this server should be available to them. So in centralized version system, what used to happen? If you're using centralized, then always you must be connected with that server. That was one of the problem. But in the case of distributed version system, what happens? There is server is there. Now what happens? Now Chandigarh developer, Delhi developer, and that Bangalore developer, what they are going to do? They are going to clone that repository. When they are going to clone that repository, what will happen? The whole code, suppose it was having 1 lakh lines of code, all the lines will come to their desktop or laptop of a Chandigarh developer, of Delhi developer, and Bangalore developer also. Now, what will happen? Suppose they are making certain changes. By default, one working copy will also be available. So what will happen? Whenever you are going to make the changes, if you are going to make the changes, if you want to update that repository, what you can do? You can update this local repository. That means no link with this centralized server was required. And what was the another beauty? Suppose this repository got lost, then hundreds of copies are available. Now what will happen? Suppose 1000 lines were there in code, so we have made another 5 line, added 5 lines. So what will happen? Now we will commit that changes. It will contain 1005 line, and then when we are satisfied, even if for a 5 minute, if connectivity is there, we can push that code there. So this is distributed version control system. So in the case of JIT, we always use the this distributed version control system. So JIT is your distributed version system. So no need for any connectivity with the decentralized. So in my case, to give you the demo, what I will be doing, I will be creating 3 users. And please remember, now we are moving towards the practical portion of how we are going to use the JIT, all these things. So in my case, what I will do, I am going to first create 3 users. First user is going to be my test user. And I'm assuming that that test user is going to manage our server. That means our JIT server will be managed by the your test user. Then I will create 2 developers. I will name one developer as a Anya and one developer as a Nano. That means we have got initially 3 people in which one is going to be the administrator of our JIT server, and then 2 people are going to be our developers. So we will see how we are going to implement this. And please remember, for that purpose, we can use the GitHub also. But sometimes if you want to experiment as different user, that means if you want to practice as different concept of JIT, you need to create multiple accounts on the GitHub. So in our case, we will come to that stage later on. But before that, I will show you how you can create your JIT server locally. So in my case, I will be using one Linux system that is going to be CentOS 7 version. So when the requirements were there, so I have already told that we will be needing for these 4 days 2 Linux systems we will be needing. One is going to be CentOS 7 and one is going to be Ubuntu. So today, in my case, I will be using the CentOS 7. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we will be creating 3 users. So in my case, I'm step by step how that GitHub people have created their own servers. So we will be going in that way. So in my case, first we are going to create a repository. Then we will log in as an Anya user. We will log in as a Nano user, and we will do all these operations. What is push, what is pull, all these things. That means now practical, then theoretical, practical, theoretical. This way we are going to move. So let me straightway go into our this JIT demo portion. This slide I am going to share later on. So let me go there. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I will go to my Linux system, and there I have to find out certain things. So let me practically go there. So in my case, this is my Linux system, and please remember, uh, uh, in my case also I have installed Ubuntu also, but today we are not going to use Ubuntu. In my case, I have installed the CentOS. So what it is written, CentOS Linux 7 and main. Main is the system's name. So in my case, username is root and password, whatever is, I will log in as a. That means now I have logged in as a, root user. Please, the people who are not comfortable with the Linux, in the end of the lab, I will be sharing one link. I have put a lot of videos in my YouTube channel, so you can view initial 10 to 15 videos so that you are comfortable with the Linux. Because in DevOps, most of the time we will be using Linux. So in my case, I have already got Linux installed. So first of all, please check the IP address of your, because that we will need. So first of all, in your system, in your lab, you will be having different IP addresses. So the first command for checking the IP addresses is IPAS. Mean what I want? I want to check the IP address of my system. So please remember, in my case, this CentOS is having the one IP address 192.168.142.133. Please, in your case, please note down it somewhere, because we will be needing this IP address. So this is the IP address. In your case, it is going to be different. How I have got this address, please remember, let me show you certain things, because all the 4 days I will be using this system. So most of the experiments I am doing in my VM, I have given 4 GB RAM. Please remember, today's session, even 2 GB is more than sufficient. But when we will be using the Jenkins, please remember, the memory required will be at least 4 GB. And please remember, because I want internet should be running on my system. So please, if you are installing your VMs in Oracle VirtualBox or VMware Workstation, here the option should be NAT. NAT mean if your internet is running on the host operating system, it is going to run on the guest operating system also. So in my case, I wanted that mean internet should be running on this system. So I have chosen the NAT option. So please remember, one setting is regarding the RAM. Today, even if you have got 2 GB RAM, it is sufficient. But when we are going to use the Jenkins session, it should be minimum 4 GB. You should have to give to your VM. And here in network adapter, your setting should be on NAT. So let me check whether my NAT is working or not. So what we are going to do, www.google.com. So first of all, check the connectivity. So it is working. Then please remember, we have to install certain software. So in this case, the command is yum install. The first software that you are going to install is JIT itself. Then we will be needing one E-Link software also in later stages. E-Links is one text browser. One tree software also we will need. Then sometimes we will need one another utility, that is curl utility, and then the view. That means we will need these 5 utilities. Yum install. JIT is the main software for using this all this creating repository. Then E-Links, curl, these are the command based browsers. Later on we will be needing this also. And tree is one very useful command. We will see later on why we are using this. And wget is again for downloading certain things from the internet. So you have to install these software. So when you are going to say yum install these software, so you have to run this command. So according to your internet speed, it is going to take some times. For saving the internet bandwidth, because I have already installed these software. So in my case, what it is saying, package JIT, elinks, tree, curl, JIT, wget, they all are installed. But in your case, it might be, it will be giving the message, it will be asking for the confirmation. Press Y for installation, N for no. So in your case, you have to just specify Y. That means it will get, the packages will get. So because why we are installing the package, because in our case we have installed the minimal version of CentOS. CentOS has got many versions available. In minimal version, certain softwares are not available, so we have to install. So please remember, whenever you are using CentOS or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, the command for installing the software is yum install and name of the package. If you are using Ubuntu, then please remember the command is apt-get install JIT. Then you can install the other software. Then please remember one another thing. Please give some proper name to your system. Now for that, the command is, so certain we are doing the because I wanted every students, whatever the students are there, they should install the CentOS or Ubuntu on their system and they prepare their system. So please give some proper name to this system, because we are going to make this system as a server also, as a client also. So in this case, I'm showing you certain commands. So please, for giving one proper name.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
actually, faculty is sitting in the lab. They are asking if you could share this document so that they can do side-by-side practicals.
Okay, okay. Is there option where, or I should send you the mail, ma'am? Just
So
1
you
minute.
can send a mail, sir, kiranjyoti@gmail.com.
Okay, okay.
Should I write down in chat box?
Just 1 minute.
Actually, share with the file. Chat. Name. Hmm. Sir, I have written in chat box my mail ID. Please
Okay,
do
okay.
send.
Okay, ma'am. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, again, please share the email address. I lost the connection. Hello. Please share that. Email.
किथे चैट नहीं आ रही चैट किथे अच्छा ऊपर हाँ कमल लगा दे कर दो कमल लो सीधे चल गयो ना मैं सारा कुछ हल करूंगा
Ma'am, just share the email address again.
I just
यही है ना कमल लही है
हाँ ये So share on this mail ID. It will reach to all the participants automatically.
Okay. I sent the mail, ma'am. Is this okay? Should I continue, ma'am?
Sir, just for 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
MEIL.
हाँ जी हाँ ये एक्सेस नहीं कर रहे हैं ना
Access नहीं कर रहे
जी हम ये लेक
सभी दिन में तो डाल
हाँ जी हाँ जी
अवन कर पापा
ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ।
कमल कल्ला
अच्छा अच्छा
हाँ जी सर, पहुंच गई जी। हाँ जी।
आंसर एक मिनट जस्ट होल्ड ऑन
नहीं तो फिजिकली पहुंचा देना जी। Just let me know when you are ready, ma'am.
Yes, I got a mail.
Okay. Should I start or?
Okay, you start.
Okay, because I have to explain the commands also, because it will take time also.
Okay.
So I will stop in between.
It's okay, sir. You can start.
Okay.
Sir, the screen share होगी ना?
Now screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
सर शुरू कर लीजिए सर, थोड़ा भूल के कहाँ पे थे.
Okay, ma'am. So let me again. In my case, I have installed CentOS 7, and so the first command that you have to check is IP address. So for checking the IP address, it is IPAS. The command is IPAS, IP address show. So please, in each of your system, you will be having different address. In my case, the address is 192.168.142.133. This is my IP address. So in your case, it is going to be different. Now, first of all, let us change the host name. In your case, the host name will be localhost or something else. So please make it with the command. The command is hostname ctl set hostname, and that is, we are going to name our system as main.example.com. If you have to follow the slides, please keep the name the same that I have given. That means I am giving my system some name, main.example.com. Please remember, whenever you are using the Linux, name should be proper. Name of the system and domain name. In our case, we are using the domain name main.example.com. So what will happen? My system will get the name main.example.com. So let me enter this command. Once you have entered this command, the changes will only take place when you have logged out. So log out with the Control D or log out, then again log in, whatever is your password. Now you will see that your name will get changed, and you can verify with this command. The command name is hostname. This is just for verifying purpose. That means it is name is proper. And again, DNS domain name. Domain name is example.com. That means the first command was for setting. These two commands are for verifying purpose. Okay, whether we have properly given the name main.example.com, and DNS domain name mean whether it is showing proper domain name or also. So this is very important. So it is now working. Now, then you need to install certain packages. So please remember, I am again running this command. So what you have to do, yum install. We need to install jet also, elinks also, tree, curl, and wgs. Today we are going to use the jet package, but later on, as we will move on, we will be using these packages also. So when you are going to use this command, it is going to ask for the confirmation whether you want to install or not. There you have to press the Y. When you are going to press the Y, what will happen? It will get installed. And most of the time, please remember, JIT is already installed. So no need to install. How you can verify? Again, we have got one command is there, rpm minus query JIT. If in your case already this package is there, then you can skip that command also. No need to run that command that we have written this command. So that means in today's case, the most important package that we required, that is JIT software. So you can install with yum install JIT. Another software, because we will be needing those later on. So that is why we have installed that also. Elinks, curl, these are the command-based browser like Firefox. Then tree and wget are another useful packages we will be using continuously, these packages. Now, please remember, after you have given the name, you need to open one file, because initial settings are very important. You are going to open one file that is going to be etc host files. And there you are going to make certain entries, because that is very important. There you have to write the name of your system. In our case, IP address of your system. In my case, it is 192.168.142.133. And then the fully qualified domain name. That means the name that I have given, main.example.com, then main. Please remember, this is the syntax. Let me make you understand. The syntax of this file is like this. Phone number, Vipin Gupta, Vipin. That means phone number, full name, the first name. By that, we are going to get the caste of that person. So here, instead of phone number, what we are writing? We are writing the IP address. Then we are saying the fully qualified domain. That is very necessary. This entry is very compulsory. So in my screenshot, I have given, in your case, whatever is the IP address, please give that address, and then please save this. That means this is the system that you have to make ready. Now we want to create the users. Now please remember, I'm going to create 3 user: test user, Anya user, and one is going to be Nano user. Out of these 3 users, test user is going to maintain your JIT server. So what I will do, I will create one group, DevOps, and what I will do, I will create one user add. I will specify the command G, DevOps, and then I will name that user. Now, what is the meaning of that? I'm saying, please put that test user into DevOps groups, because when we are creating one server admin for maintaining that JIT server, sometimes only one user is not sufficient. We might want another user, ABC user also. So that is why we created one DevOps groups. In that group, what we are going to do, we are going to put one user. So what this command is going to do, it is going to put your test user into DevOps groups. So that our test group got created. Now, another user creation is very easy. I'm just going to create Anya user, and another user is Nano user. In your case, you can create any, you can give any name to your user, but then you will not be able to properly follow the slides. Now I have created the test user, Anya user, and Nano user. But the problem is I have not given the passwords to them. So I will be giving the passwords to them. Test user, password, test user. In my case, I'm giving the one password to all the users. I've given the password to test user also. I'm going to give the password to Anya user. That means simple Linux commands are there till now. To Anya user, I have given the password. Now I'm going to give the password to Nano user also. That means I have created 3 users. When I was creating the test user, I created first the group DevOps, then I created 2 normal users. Now please remember, this test user is going to be our JIT server administrator, and these Anya and Nano user are going to be your developers. So we are taking one example. That means we have got a team of 3, in which one is admin, 2 are the developers. Now I will clear this screen. Now I'm logged in as a root user. So what I'm going to do, I will log out. I will log in as a test user. And please, even if you are not able to follow this step by step, later on you can, again, I have given the screenshots, so you can go. Just 1 minute. That means I will log in as a test user also. What I'm going to do, and please remember, in Linux you have got the facility, you can log in as a test user also. You can open the second terminal also by pressing alter function F2 key. I will log in as a Anya user also. I will log in as a Nano user also. That means on F1, I am logged in as a test user. On F2, I am logged in as an Anya user, and F3, I am logged in as a Nano user. Even if you are not comfortable, first logged in as a test user. Now, what we are going to do, I will create one repository. That means, and please remember, later on we will be using the GitHub also. in GitHub, when you are going to put, there also you have to create one repository. But here, what is we are simulating that test user is the admin. Now, what it is going to do? It is going to create one repository for us. And please remember, when we talk about repository means project. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, we are using a virtual box for this CentOS. How we can
Okay.
switch over to one test user to another window?
In that, again, it will depend upon your system. Mostly, it will be Alter function key F2 key, or in certain cases, it is Control Alter F2. So it will depend upon the your laptop or desktop. It is not one fixed key. That means just press Alter F2. It is working or not? Alter F2. Alter F2.
Those are it's not working.
Alter function F2. F2 mean function key. Alter function F2.
Yeah, it's working, sir.
That means please remember, in each and every system, the command is going to be different for switching. Even if you are not able to switch, then just use one terminal, because at a time we will be using only one user. So please, the person who are not able to log in as a multiple users. Is this clear?
Yes, yes.
Now, as a test user, I'm going to create one repository. And please remember, in JIT, we use the term repository. In real life, your student use the term project. That means we have created Python project, we have created ABC project. So here, in the case of JIT, or in the case of version control system, always we use the term repository. So in my case, I will name my repository as demo project. And please remember, it is compulsory to give .jit extension. That means whatever person is going to maintain the server, when that person is creating the directory, what should be the name? Make directory demo-project.jit. That is compulsory. So that means, because JIT software uses the extension .jit. So you have to make the directory with this extension. So what we are going to do? I will enter this. That means we are able to create the directory. Then I will enter into this directory. I will type cd demo project. I will enter into that directory. With ls command, you can check whether some file is there or not. But please remember, when you run the ls command, it will not show you the hidden files. So sometimes you use the command ls-a. That means, because we just created that one repository, which is empty directory. Same way, like when you create the project, first you create some folder. Initially, that folder is empty. Now, in this also, this is empty. Now, please remember, whenever the admin is going to create the repository, that admin has to initialize that repository also. Initialize mean, you can say you have to own that repository. That means this repository, that demo project directory, this is not working properly. So we have to initialize this. And please remember, for that, the command is git bear. And please, when you are running this --bear command, make sure that there is no file in this directory. So in our case, please remember, key make directory. Then we moved into directory. We checked with this ls command, ls-a, no command was there. Then what we are saying, git --bear. Bear mean empty directory. Initialize the empty directory. This is very compulsory. That means, on later on, when Anya is going to create the repository, she is not going to use this bear term. She is going to use only git initialization. But because test user is admin, so that he has to initialize that repository by using which command? Git ---- bear init. So this is the command. Now what it is saying? It is giving the message initialize empty Git repository. Now, the moment we are going to run this command, what is happening? It has created lot of files. That means with running one command, it has implemented the Git server. That means now it is working in the same way as our GitHub site works. Let me show you one thing. Let me go to this. Later on, we will be using this github.com. This is the site. This is going to be the site. Now, this has been, now this GitHub belongs to Microsoft. That means this github.com site, this company now belongs to Microsoft. That means they have created the server for.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, bear command use ਕੀਤੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ initialize ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ, command not found ਆ ਰਿਹਾ।
ਫਿਰ ਮੈਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ yum
ਉਹ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, install ਹੋ ਗਿਆ।
ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਮ, ਫਿਰ ਕਮਾਂਡ ਦੇਖੋ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ, git ----
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
bear space init ਕੀ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਮ? what message? ਨਹੀਂ
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਯਮਨਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੀ command
ਨਹੀਂ ਯਮ ਮੈਮ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ। ਯਮ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਵਾਈ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ, ਯੈਸ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਮੈਮ ਉਹਨੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਮੈਡਮ ਵਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਆਈ ਸੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ
ਸੀ।
ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੌਗ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਮ ਲੌਗ ਇਨ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਰੀਲੌਗਿਨ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਜੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕਲੀਅਰ। ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਕੰਪੇਅਰਿੰਗ ਇਟ ਮੀਨ we are creating our own server. In our case, we could have used this GitHub server also. So that means when I'm running that command git ---- bear initialize mean we have created this type of server. So that is the beauty of that command. That means we have created this type of servers. So let me again move. And please remember, these files are of no concern to us. Internally, it is going to store all the information. That means the moment I initialize this, it created lot of files. Now, that means what we have done, in our case, we have created one empty repository is there. Just 1 minute. Is this clear up to this point? Now, that means now our server is ready. So we will not touch this now. Our server is ready. I will now log in as a Ania user. Now please log in as a Ania user. Now please remember, whenever you are using GitHub or any Git server, it could be GitLab also. Normally we use the password. That means one user account is there, one password is there. But slowly and slowly, this password type of thing, it is being depreciated. And when you are going to use GitHub also, it will also give you one message that means the password that you are going to use, we are going to depreciate that. That means no longer when you are going to use the GitHub also, you will not be able to use the username and password. You have to use the public and private key. Also here, now Ania and this Nanu user, they want to access this Git server. So they cannot access that Git server by using the username and password. And second thing is, if they are going to use the username and password, then we have to tell the Ania user the username of, that means test user have to tell the username and password to Ania also, Nanu also, which is not recommended. So most of the time, what will happen for authentication purpose, Anya and Nannu are going to use public and private key. This is very important. So please remember, now Anya wants to access this repository. Which repository? Which has been created by this test user. But she cannot access it by using username and password. She has to use public and private key. So the next thing that we are going to create is one public and private key. So SSH please remember that even if when you use the cloud, these days you have to use the public and private key. So Anya user is going to run one command, Ssh Keygen. Please remember, when I'm going to run this command, it is going to generate one public and private key for the Anya. Now what the Anya is going to do? It will keep the private key with itself and it will send the public key to the test user. Now what will happen with that? Because now Anya user will be having the private key with her and her public key will be with the test user. So now what the Anya user will be able to do? It will be able to authenticate. Let me compare it with the AWS cloud. Please remember, whenever you are using cloud, at most of the cloud services, if you have to access those services, you need to create public and private key. Now what happens? Private key we keep with ourselves. Now what happens? Any services which is launched in cloud that got locked with the public key. So when I have to open that service, what I need to have the public key to open that service. Same way, now Anya is going to create public and private key. What is the command? The command is Ssh Keygen. And please remember, I'm showing you step. I could have skipped those steps, but then it is useless, because in your case, you will not be able to set up the whole infrastructure yourself. So that is why I'm step by step, I'm trying to make you understand. So now Anya user is going to create public private key. The command is SSH -keygen. Now what it is saying? Enter file in which you want to save. Now what it is written? Home anya.ssh id_rsa. This is the private key. It is saying you want to change the name. No, we are just going to press enter. And it is going to ask the password. It is not asking the password. It is saying passphrase. And please remember, do not enter anything here. Just press enter. Again enter. Now what is happening? That means when I'm running this command, what has happened? It has created in one .ssh directory one private key, and it has created one public key also. In which directory? It is in .ssh directory. So let me see. I'm clearing the screen. So when I'm going to run this command ls, nothing is there. But when I'm going to say ls -a, you will see that lot of files are there. And one SSH directory is also there. So let us check what is in this SSH directory. So what is the command? ls -ssh. That means by running that command, Anya user is able to create, this is private key, this is public key. Now the problem is, which key Anya user is going to keep with her? Which key she is going to send to the server? Now we will not say that we are going to send it to the test user. We are going to say that we are going to send some key to our JIT server. Now which key we are going to send? Public or private? Please remember, never send your private key, because this is private to you. You have to always send your public key. So in our case, what we want? We have created two keys. That means in our case, for authentication purpose, we are not going to use password type authentication. We are going to use public private key authentication. So that is how. So now that means we have created the key. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to run one command. SSH copy ID. Then I have to specify the -i option. SSH. Which key I want to send? The name of the key. So please remember, I'm saying SSH copy ID mean please copy this key. Where is our key? It is in .ssh directory. And what is the name of the key? It is ID_RSA pub. Now where I want to send it? I want to send it to my server. And what is the address of our server? Please remember main.example.com. And please remember, you can use only main.example.com if you have made the entry in your host file. If you have not made the entry in host file, instead of using this name, please use the IP address. That means instead of typing this test user @main.example.com, I could have written that address 192.168.142.133. So now please, what is the command? What I am saying? SSH copy ID. I'm specifying with I option what is the key. In my case, the key is in .ssh directory and the name of the file is ID_RSA. And where I want to send? I want to send to this system. And what is the admin of that user? So when I'm going to run this command, it will give you one message. Are you sure to continue? You have to say yes. Then it is going to ask for the password. What is the password of test user? And whatever password you have given, in my case, it was 1. That means what this command is doing, it is sending your public key and automatically setting up one password-less authentication. That means now what will happen? This command will get saved into our that JIT server. What will happen now? If we have to access that server, we can access that server without using username and password. So please remember ls copy ID. This is the command. Should I continue? So that means I have copied this command.
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Okay. Now I need to verify whether everything is okay. So for that, what I'm going to use, going to use one command, test user @main.example.com. Now let us see what happens. The moment I'm saying it is not asking for any password, that means I was able to set up passwordless authentication. Now I'm logged in. That means everything is working perfectly. That means now Ania user can access which directory? They can access the server. Same thing we have to do for the Nanu user also. So let me repeat the step for the Nanu user also. So basically,
whatever you have done on the console, we can use the Git using GUI also.
Ma'am, GUI is not that comfortable, because most of the time all the concept we will be using test. We can I will be giving little bit demo of that, but in the end, so mostly we will be using the test mode. You can use the GUI, but it is not recommended practice, ma'am. Only the Windows operating system we use the GUI, but Linux rarely I have seen the person using the GUI in Linux, and especially for the Jet.
Okay, sir.
And ma'am, please one thing another, because when our students are going to go into any, whether it is small industry or big industry, they have to use this Jet.
That's
Normally,
they need to
because that is the purpose you have put that DevOps subject into the curriculum, because this is industry relevant. So whether they are a programmer of anything, that means they have to use the Jet. So we are using the best practices for the Jet. That means how? So in our case, what we are trying to do, we are trying to set up our own Jet server. Normally in the companies, they will not require to do this also, because already somebody would have set up all these things. They would have created the public private key for them. They have, that means straightway they can start working on the repository. But in my case, I just wanted to give each and everything. That means how I've set up the lab, how anybody can set up the lab, so that will be little bit more handy to the our students, and of course faculty also, ma'am. So
Yes,
that
sir,
is
yes. Yep.
now up to this point it is clear. So that means we created the Linux user, so slides are there. That created test user created the server. Now Anya user created the public private key. She sent the public key to the server, and now she can authenticate. Now same thing we have to do for the Nano user also. So now quickly I will do the same thing for the Nano user. So let me move. So now I've logged in as a Nano user. So what I'm going to do? Ssh Keygen. So again, it is going to ask for any custom name. No, we are just going to press enter. We are just going to press enter. So I will clear the screen with ls. That means same thing I'm going to use for the Nano. So two keys are there. So what command I am going to use? SSH copy ID -i dot SSH. What is the name of the file? This is the name, and where I want to send test user @ So once you have done for the one user, for second user, the steps are little bit faster. So same thing. That means Nano user is again sending the key. It is going to ask for the confirmation. Yes. It is going to ask for the password. And it is also giving you the message also. Ki verify with which command? SSH. So let us verify. SSH test user. That means we just want to verify whether. Now what is actually happening? When this Nano user is typing this command, test user @main.example.com, when this we will go to that this system main.example.com as a test user, it is going to because this Nano user is going to take it is private key with it. Now that test user is going to check that private key with the public key. If it is matching, then it will give you the access. So that is why it is giving the access. So I will log out. That means now everything is ready. That means in our case, let me again show how much we have covered. So this is public key. Nano has created the public key. It has sent the key and it has verified. Now we will log in as an Anya user. Normally in companies, the person will start with this slide, because rest whatever we have done in the previous 8 or 9 slide, that will be done by their admins. So normally what you will start with this as a Anya users. That means in company you will be given one username and in one password. You will log in and then you start creating. So in our case, let me show the step what we are going to perform. So in our case, what we will do, we will create any repo. And in my case, for making the thing simple, I have named my repo as Ania repo. And please remember, in our case, our server and these two developers are working on the same system. But in your case, you can create one dedicated server. That means test user you can create somewhere, and these Ania and this Nano user on some other system. But in my case, my server and my clients, all the developers are working on the same system. But you can take the different systems also. Now, what the Nanya user is going to do, it is going to create one directory. It could be any. So we have named it Ania -repo. Then we'll go into this directory, Ania repo. And now please remember, whenever you are going to create any repo, repo means repository, it is recommended practice. You have to briefly give certain information what will be in this project. Like when a student send you the project, generally readme file is not there. They have to verbally explain our project is doing this or not doing this. Normally what the student should do, normally they should create one text file in which the whole description of the project is there, what their project is going to do, how the teacher is going to run that project, what command need to run for activating that project. So whenever you create any repository, it is recommended practice when you are using to create one readme file. So what we are going to do, in our case, we are just adding one line, echo add content to readme. In your case, that means if we are creating one project for the doctor people, so we will write something there. Okay, this project is for doctor, patient management is there. But in our case, what we are going to do, we will create one readme file and just going to put something there. So in my case, it is going to be add content to readme. Then we are going to run this command git status s. So let us do up to this point, and we will see what error it is going to give. So now what I'm going to do, I will go to the Ania user. That means now the developer will go to his or her laptop and she will start creating the project. So in my case, what I'm trying to do, so I will say make directory, because it is on. So let me, sorry. So we will be moving according to the slides only. So let me make directory. So what I'm going to say, Ania repo. So I'm going to create. So we will go into this Ania repo. And what is in this directory? Nothing is there. So please remember, you can create the file with cat command also, vi also, or you can use the echo command. So what we are going to say, echo, anything you can write, add content to. And please, in your case, when you are using the real projects, please put some purposeful line. Here just we are just adding the line. So, and the name of the file should be, this is the recommended practice. Like normally when we start the programming, we generally write the program hello world. It is a recommended practice. Same way, when we any repository we create one readme file, and that name of the file should be in capital, although you can it be in small, but generally readme file. So what we are doing, we are putting some material there. Now, please remember, I'm going to run this command git status. S mean short information, mean give us information about this repository. Now please look at the error message. Fatal, not a git repository. Because we just created one directory, we put some material, we have not specified that now this directory or this repository will be managed by the JIT. That means simply creating one folder and putting some material, automatically version control system will not get implemented. So what it is saying, not a JIT repository. JIT does not have knowledge about this, what files are there, who has made the changes, no information is there. So please remember, if you are going to create simple directory and put some material, that will not be managed by the JIT. So what you are going to do? Here you have to initialize this. And before that, let me again run one command. And please remember, in our case, only one file is there. So now what we have to do? So what we are saying, JIT initialize, and please do not use that --bear. That is only the server person that is going to use. So what we are saying, JIT initialize. When we run that command into this repository, now this directory or this repository comes under the control of your JIT version control system. So now when I'm entering, so what it is saying, initializing, and please remember, when we initialize, it creates one .jit file and lot of information is there. So let me again, what it is saying, already it has created one directory. And if I'm going to run this command, it will show nothing, because this is hidden directory. That means now whatever changes we are going to make in this file, or whatever we are going to do, now everything will be kept in record by the JIT. That means now we have given the control of this directory or repository to our JIT system. And let me again run this command, JIT status. Now what it is saying, now it is giving. Now please remember, now it is saying JIT status, it is giving some information, but please remember what it is saying. It is saying some question marks. So let us first discuss certain things. That means up to this point it is okay. Now we have to understand the concepts of the JIT, and sometimes those are very, very confusing. So let me diagrammatically. So up to this point it is clear. Let us first discuss certain theoretical things. That means now we are up to this point. That means we now want to understand the meaning of this. What is this question? What it is saying? First, it was not saying anything. It is not a JIT repository. So please remember, let me move 2 or 3 slides ahead. Now JIT has got the concept of working directing and staging area. That means when we work with the JIT, it has got 3 areas are there. Those areas are named as a working directory. Then there is one staging area is there. One JIT repository is there. Now it took me almost 1 to 2 years to understand properly what are these terms. These are very confusing. That means whenever you are using the JIT, 3 areas are there. One is working directory. Now please remember, when I'm running, when I run this command, directory cd ania, I created this file. When I created this file, then I initialize. Now I am into the working directory. In my working directory, this file is there, readme. Why it is saying question mark? That means this file is only in the working directory. Please remember, let me go there. I have to spend a lot of time here. That means your file could be, this readme file could be in working directory. It could be in staging area. It could be in JIT repository. And sometimes it could be in all these 3. When it is showing double question mark, that means it is just lying on this working area. It is not in the staging area also. It is not in the Git repository also. Now let me make you understand. Git repository mean the final code. Suppose let us take the example of that office. I want to make that full office suit. Now what I will do, I will start working on Word. Suppose on Word, what I want one bold feature, that means I should be able to bold the text and I should be able to increase the size. Now what I have done, suppose I created certain files, two files I have created, in which I have implemented bold feature is working okay, but italics feature is not working. That means here I have created two programs for my Word. One is for bold, one is for your italics. Now my bold feature is working properly. That means I'm able to, when I run that code, I'm able to bold the text. That means out of two code, one is almost ready. So what I will do, I want to move that into some area. That means I will move that bold program into the staging area. Now I'm not moving into the Git repository because I'm still not sure that this is the final version, because I'm satisfied this bold feature is working, but I'm not still fully convinced. That means this is going to be my final version. I'm not going to make changes. So in bold feature, it is implemented. So what I will do, first I will send that to the staging area. But italic feature, I'm not still working, so this will be in working directory only. Suppose there is one another feature, that it means font increase, and that font increase is perfectly working, and I'm fully satisfied. This 100-line code that I have written for increasing the font size, it is working properly, and I'm not going to make any changes. So that means I have got one program which is still in working stage, nothing complete. Second program is almost 99% complete, but just I want to be doubly sure. And third is completely. So what I will do, which is the complete feature, I want to put into the Git repository. And the program about which I'm 90% sure, 99%, I'm going to put into the staging area, and the feature that I'm going to work, that I'm going to put into the working directory. So in the case of when you create the real programs, also this happens. Suppose if a project has got 90 files, 30 files are in final stages, you are not going to make changes. So what we'll do, we are going to send those files into the repository by using one command called commit. That means those are final. But the 30 files, I'm not sure, almost 99% sure, but again, I want to perform certain test. So those 30 files I'm going to put here, and rest of the 30 file on which still I'm working, that is going to be working directly. So it is recommended practice. Let me again go into this way. So I'm making you relate it with, suppose you are going to some department. So because if you are able to understand what is working directory, what is staging area, what is Git repository, even if you are able to understand these terms, almost your 50% Git is clear to you. So let me relate it with the your real life. Suppose you are into departmental store. In departmental store, hundreds of items are there. That means that is your working area. Hundreds of items are there. Now, when you start purchasing, one cart is there. What do you do? Out of these hundreds, what you are going to do? Or thousands of items, somebody is going to put 10, 15, or 10. Suppose I'm taking the example of this person. So 10 things are there. So that means these are in staging area. That means almost they have done their purchasing. But sometimes what happens when they go to the counter, suppose this person whatever it is in cart, it has not removed anything from the cart, so it will do the billing. That means this is the final purchasing there. But suppose this person, if it is finding that this one product is not okay, so what it will do, it will place packet. So please, if you are going to compare it with the shopping area, your whole department, the things that are there, they are in working area. When you are in queue before the billing, that is your staging area. And then when you have taken the bill, that means final you have purchased the thing, that is called your repository. So same way when the programmers work, that mean if in their project they have got 90 files, if 30 files they are sure, that mean they are not going to change. What they will do, they will send it to the repository. Once they have sent it to the repository, that means that is permanent, you cannot change. Then 30 things are in staging area. Normally out of those 30, 29 will go to this record library, but one of those files you might be want to have the double look, then you can take back it to the working area. So JIT purposefully has kept three areas. Working area mean where we are working, currently working. When the things are almost finished, we will send it to the staging area, and when the things are final, we are going to send it to the local repository. So these are the three areas. So let me now go to the commands. That means now this file, it is in your working area. So now what I have to do, I'm saying that this is okay, I'm not going to make any changes. So what is the first step? First you have to send it to the staging area, then you have to send it to the repository. Like when you are preparing some products, so in the factory you will prepare, and then you will pre-shipping department, that means then you will pack those files, that means it will be ready for the delivery. Then some truck or that will come, that will take the things. So always whenever you are working on something, that will be in your working directory. So that is two question marks mean it is in working directory. So let me go there. Now please remember, whenever you are using the JIT, you have to give information about you. So first we will run this command JIT config list. It is going to show some of the parameter that, but then what you have to do, you have to give the information about yourself. So for that, the two information you have to give. One is about your name and about your email address. And please remember, another advantage of JIT is that means normally sometimes most of the time our students, they work in the group of 3 or 4 people. That means sometimes 4 students, they create certain project, and it is normal practice. We have seen out of those 4 students, normally 1 or 2 students really works. Rest of the 2 students, they are just into the group. Now what happens, teacher is not able to deduct how much work this student has done in that project, how much work that has been done by this student. But if we are going to say to our student, please use JIT for your project, now what will happen, whatever the code has been created by the student A, that will be comes into the picture. Because when we are going to send the code from working directory to staging area, from staging area to repository, it automatically stores the information also who has created the programs. So that is also useful. That means if we want to judge our students or those, so really who has worked on which person, or in the project 30% has been done by this, 20% this. So JIT's purpose is also this also, okay, who has made the changes. So when you are created, any user has created that repository, she needs to give two informations. One is username, what is the username, and second is email address. Two informations are very necessary. So let me. So now we are able to understand what is working area is there, what is staging area, and what is your JIT repository. Now let us first run this command JIT config. So it is showing some by default settings are there, but now this is very important. JIT config minus global user name. Only once you have to do this entry. So we are going to say Anya Gupta, whatever is the name of that user. So I'm saying name is this. Then you have to specify the email address also. For that, you are going to specify email. And please, because we have artificially created the user, and please give the email address as example.com. If you do not want to give a real email ID, what you can do? But in the real case, you have to give your real email ID. So because in our case, in this system, just domain name was example.com. So what I'm saying, JIT config minus global user email ania@example.com. These two things are necessary. That means always when you are using the JIT, the always when you have created the repository, the first thing you are going to specify your username and you are going to specify your email address. Let us check. Now it is giving you the information. That means username is this, your user email ID is this. That means now one file is there, and when we run this command JIT status, and let me skip this S also. Now let us see what happens. So when I'm going to say this, look at this, what it is saying. JIT status initial commit untracked file. That means untracked file mean you have just created the file in this directory. It is not in the staging area, neither it is in our repository. So which file which are neither in the staging area, not in the commit also. So what they will be called? They will be called untracked file. That means this file is untracked. Untracked mean if we are going to change this file, JIT is not going to keep the previous information, what was previous in this file. So let us move this file to our staging area. That means now what I want, now it is in working directory. That means now I want to move it into the staging area. So for that we have to run one command. That command is JIT add. That means if we have got 3 files and one is almost complete, so what we are going to do, from working directory we will move it in. That means if we are creating 3 products, if we are manufacturing 3 cars, one is ready. So what we will do, we will move into that shipment area. So here staging area. So in our case we have got only one file. So what we are going to do, in my case I'm going to run this one command. That command is going to be your. So let me go there. So this is going to be the command. I'm going to run the command JIT add dot mean all the files. If suppose there are 10 files, all the 10 files will get moved to that your staging area. But sometimes you are not interested in that. Out of 10 files, you just want to add one file. So let me go there. So now what I'm going to do, JIT add. If you are going to specify this dot mean all the files. If 100 files, all will go to the staging area. Sometimes we want only one file to go there. So what we are going to do, we can specify that. So what I'm saying, git add readme. So now what will happen? Let us check with which command. Now please look at this. Instead of 2 question mark, what it is written? A, that means status has changed. That means it has moved to your staging area. But let us check this. Now what it is saying? Git status changes to be committed, new file readme. That means in staging area is that area almost where you are going to send your almost finished file. But you are not just sending to the final because you just want to double check whether everything is okay, or once I have mean this is ready, then I will ready the second file, then third file, then fourth file. Then after all the files are ready, then I will ship together. Sometimes when we transport the thing, even if one product is ready, we do not ship that. We want that minimum 4 products should be ready. So please remember, from working area, what we are going to do, we are going to move it into the your staging area. But again, what we need to do now, we need to move into it too. And please remember, if you have only the first time you are using Git, little bit confusion is always there. But once you are going to do practice 2 or 3 times, the things will start, you will start understanding the thing. So now what we have done, we could have run that git add dot command also, because one file was there, that was also okay. But in my case, I just ran the command git add, the name of the, then git status. Now this is very important. This is the now what we want to say this is final file. We are not going to make the changes. That means now we want to move the files to this, into the Git repository. Git repository means the final code, final product. That means packed product. So for that means now that file is in staging area. From staging area, we have to move it into the your repository area. So for that, you have to use the command git commit mean message. And please remember, whatever any user is going to do the things, they are going to write what they have done. Normally what happens when you write the program, suppose you have written 100-line programs. So what you will do, once you have written 100-line programs in working area, then we will send it to the staging area, then we will send it to the repository. But before sending into the repository, we have to give brief description what we have done. We will say we have implemented bold and italic features. So that is git commit minus mean message initial commit. Here we are just using the word initial commit. We can use the word first commit. Now what will happen when I am going to run this command? What will happen? This will move the code from which place? From staging area to this Git repository. So let us do this. So let me go there. So we are not taking any break. So we will continue with the session. So now it is in staging area. That means step-by-step procedure is there.
Do you need break for 5 minutes?
I do not need you people.
You can like finish it by like 12:30 if you don't want break. जब खत्म हो जाएगा सर तब कर देना, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है सर।
नहीं मैम, आई वुड लाइक टू कंटिन्यू बाय 1। जब आप थक जाओ तो मेरे को बता देना, देन मैं बंद कर दूंगा मैम। क्योंकि मैं तो मैम शाम तक भी क्लास लेता रहूंगा, थकूंगा नहीं, ठीक है ना।
सर आज आई थिंक यू विल कंप्लीट गिट टुडे।
हाँ जी मैम, गिट पूरा तो नहीं होगा, काफी हो जाएगा हमारा मध्य, तो उसको कर लेते हैं मैम, ठीक है ना। हाँ जी
यू विल स्टार्ट विद,
हाँ तो आई विल कंटिन्यू, ठीक है ना। हाँ जी
सर डॉकर यू विल स्टार्ट ऑन 27th।
यस मैम, बिकॉज ये सबसे टफ पोर्शन था, उसको हम पहले ले रहे हैं मैम। हाँ जी हाँ, क्योंकि डॉकर भी कई बार जिट हब को यूज करता है, तो उसमें रिलेटेड टॉपिक है मैम। जब हम जेनकिन यूज करेंगे, वो डॉकर को भी यूज करेगा, जिट हब को भी यूज करेगा। तो हम बार बार वापस भी आते रहेंगे मैम, ठीक है ना? हाँ जी, हाँ
ठीक है सर।
कंटिन्यू करो ना मैम। हाँ जी, हाँ जी, बिकॉज फिर हमारा फिनिश नहीं होगा ऐसे, ठीक है ना? हाँ जी मैम,
सर ठीक है 1 o'clock तक सर कर लीजिए।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, ठीक है ना मैम? मेरे को तो कोई फायदा ही है, मेरे को तो आप 1 घंटे के बाद भी कर दोगे तो नो इशू। सो लेट मी कंप्लीट।
तो 1 o'clock तक कर लीजिए, सिर्फ सुबह
हाँ।
स्टाफ की ड्यूटी नहीं है ना।
हाँ जी, नहीं नहीं ठीक है मैम, जब आप कहोगे तब देन आई विल फिनिश, ठीक है?
By
1 बजे
1
तक हम,
ठीक
यस
है।
मैम, okay. So now what we are going to do, git commit m mean message. So normally we can write first commit also, but here according to slide I will go initial commit. Now with this commit, so that is why always when you are working in any company, they will see that by the end of day or when they have completed certain function, they will commit the code. So always they use the term please commit the code. That means if they have, in our case, our readme file is okay. So what we are doing, first we send it to the staging area. Now we are sending it to the repository. So now it is. Now let us check me status. What it is saying? Nothing yet to commit. Working area clean. That means no new thing we have done. And with the git log, and please remember, if your student in a group, they are creating the product, teacher can view this command. What the teacher can do? It can run this command git log. The teacher will know who is the author, what things that a student has done. That means every information will be there at what time that a student has done the work. That means now our this initial code has been committed by this Anya user. So let me clear this. So let me again go to there. That means we have covered up to this git status, nothing is there. That means now working directory from staging area git repository. But the problem is, suppose if this user is let me run one command, and in please your case, please do not run this command. I'm just for example I'm saying, please do not run this command. Suppose I'm going to run this command, what will happen? The whole data will be gone. So once you have created the repository, now this is local repository. Now what I want to send it to some remote server. So this is the next step. That means now this Anya user has got local repository. He has created some code. Now she want to save it into some server. That means in our case, who has implemented that server? Test user. So let us go see what are the steps. So up to this point, it is clear. Now that means code is ready. Now this we have. Now that means working directory to staging area, we sometimes called index area also, caching area also. Now whenever we have committed that changes, this is called local repository. But local repository Nanu will not be able to access because this is only local repository. Now Nanu also wants to work on that project. So before that, what this Anya user has to do? Anya user has to send this repository or code into which? A remote repository. Please always remember, if you have to work in a group, your local repository should be hosted as a remote repository. So now what is the step? This is clear, this is clear, this is clear. Now we want to send it to that server. Normally what the people do, like your students, when the students are going to, suppose if they have created the Python project, they will create the Python project, they will send the files into the staging area, then to local commit, then they will send it to the GitHub, and from GitHub the teacher can download. So now what is the next step? we want to send this code to the remote repository, and it could be your GitHub. In our case, that repository is your test user @main.example.com. That means we are totally simulating how the GitHub works. So when we are going to work on real GitHub, then you will see it will look very simple. So now we want to move to this remote repository. So what are the steps? Yes, these are the steps. So now this is the very important command. That means next 3 to 4 commands are the most important commands. So now push repo to remote Git server. So first what we are going to do, we will run one command, git branch. And please remember, whenever you are creating the code, by default your master branch will get created. Then sometimes we have got we can say feature branch is there, bug branch is there. That means always when you are going to create, one master branch is there. So when I will say that git branch master, and now what is these branches, we will be going into the detail. Suppose I have created the office product, it is 100% correct. Now I have sent it to the clients. Now clients are demanding certain new feature, suppose ABC feature, and certain clients, they have said that lot of bugs are there. So now what I will do, I have to remove the bugs also, I have to add new features also. So what I will do, I will not make any changes in this master code. So what I will do, I will create one new branch. That new branch is going to be feature branch, and second branch is going to be your bug branch. So what will happen when I'm going to create that feature branch or bug branch, all the code from master that will get copied into those branches. So what I can do, I can make changes in this thing. But by default, because we did not created any branch, so by default the branch was master. Now this is the most important line. Now before pushing the code, what we have to do, we will run one command, git remote add, then we are going to type the name. That means here you are going to specify the name of your remote server. In our case, what was the name? Who was the user? Test user @main.example.com. What was there, the repository? What was the name there? The name was the demo project.jet. And please, whenever we have to push the code, what we have to do, we have to say git push, then we have to write this name. So what we do, generally we create one alias of this. That means this is so big name. So what we do, we say git remote add, create one alias. Generally this is the recommended, please create the alias, name the alias as origin. So in that alias, what will be covered? This will be there. Now what will happen? Then the third command that I'm going to do, git push, I'm going to say push origin. Where I want to push? Origin mean I want to push there. And which branch I want to push? Master. So that is important thing. So let me go there. That means diagrammatically, from working area staging area to your GitHub, and from that where we want to go, let me go there, we want to send there. So what is the command that I'm going to use? This is the command that I'm going to use. So let me type this command. So let me, now who is going to send the code to remote repository? Anya user. So let us check git branch. It is on master branch. So what I am going to say, git remote, what I am going to say, add alias. What the name of alias? It is recommended practice. Like when we write the program, we first write the hello world program. Same way, it is recommended practice. Please name your alias as origin. Then whose alias I want to create? Test user @main dot example .com. Then what is our repository's name? Demo project. Now what will happen? This code will automatically get transferred to that remote server. And in real life, that will get transferred to your GitHub. So this is our, so let me add this. Now what I am going to say? I'm going to say git push. Where? Origin. If I'm not going to create the origin, instead of origin, I have to write every time this. And when you are working on the code, sometimes the program is going to push the code in the day 5 to 10 times. So typing this command is very large. So that is why we said git push origin. And which branch? In our case, we have got only one branch is there. Now what has happened? That means now our code has got shifted where? Here. So this is the code. That means now that means remote repository mean now this code is available to all the users, all the other developers. But in our case, only the other developer is Nanu. Now we just want to check whether Nanu is able to get that code or not. So let us, that means up to this point, working directory, then staging area, then local repository. From local repository, we have shifted the code to our GitHub server. That is also called remote repository. Now that README file or the whole project is in this remote repository. Now what the Nanu user is going to do? So this is another thing, another two important steps. So we will go to the Nanu user. We will create one Nanu repo, cd Nanu repo. Now, no need to create, initialize that repository. What that command is going to do, that Nanu user, it is going to run that command git clone test user main.example.com. That means when it is going to run this command, what will happen? The whole code that was created by the Anya, that will get that will come with the that Nanu user. Same way, when the developers are collaborating, somebody has to start that code. So suppose Anya was the developer, she created some code, she pushed that code into that remote server. Now the other developers, that means they do not need to start from the scratch, they can pull. Same way, when we will be using Docker and we will be combining, in my case, I have also put certain code into the GitHub. So what you people are going to do, you are just going to run this command git clone. In my case, I will be giving you the repository name of my GitHub account. So what will happen? You have to specify this. So now let me go to as a Nanu user. Then briefly I will explain the step whatever I have done again. And please remember, you have to do the practice, otherwise you will not be able to understand the things. I will say this is not a simple topic, same way I will say it is not a difficult that also. And on the net a lot of material is available, but most of the material is very confusing. I try to make it as much simple as possible, but still it is difficult. So let me just clone, make directory, any name you can give, Nanu repo. Now it is, the commands are easy. So I will go into the Nanu repo. I will check whether any file is there. No file is there. Now what I will do? Git clone. This is one very, git clone mean exact copy of that repository that should be in your system. So test user at the rate main example.com demo project.jet. That means we are saying jet clone. That is the name of the repository. That is our server's name. And this is the name of the project. So what it is saying? Cloning into demo project. So what will happen? When I will run this command, ls, automatically one directory will get created. I will go into that directory. And when I'm going to say ls, that readme file is there. That means whatever I've got, Anya has put that a first developer, this Nanu user has been able to clone that. Now that user can make changes. Let me relate it with the GitHub. Let me show you certain things. So now this is GitHub. In my case, and please remember, you people, the student especially, please create one account in GitHub, because we will be needing in next lecture, we will need one account. It is free. That means on GitHub, just sign up and please create one account. And when you are going to create an account, like in my case, when I created the account, I was assigned one ID. In my case, the ID is Vipin2411. So let me see. And you will see here that I have got 22 repositories are there. That means in this, I have got 22 repositories are there. One Ansible, one gallery, WordPress, big data, course, faculty. So lot of directories are there, repositories. So this demo repository is there, hit count is there. So lot of repositories. Suppose this is one repository that I want to copy. So I will click on this. Lot of files are there. And when I am going to click on this, what it is saying? It is showing something. HTTP address, GitHub, Vipin241. So if I'm going to copy this and let me paste it here. So let us see what type of address it is. This is the HTTP. And let me copy. I'm giving the real example also. So let me go to this system. Let me move to my home directory. That means git clone. Let me paste. That means real life also. That means, but this repository not into our local server. Where it is? It is in GitHub, Vipin2411. This is my repository's name. Here in case of github.com, it is our main.example.com. Then instead of there is nothing, straightway this is there. So when I'm going to say, what will happen? That means from GitHub, my code is there. Look at this. Hit count, CD. That means once you have understood the things, that means the whole code is there. So let me again move to our that that Nanu repo. Then demo project is there. In demo project, that README file is there. Let me make changes as this user, because up to that point I want to cover. That means now next 4 to 5 slides, they will make the concepts even more clear. That means again, please remember DevOps is not a small topic. It is not that simple also, because it is industry related topic. Lot of technologies are there, so little bit technical knowledge is required. So in my case, up to this point, we have done that. Mean we clone the repository. We have seen how to push the repository, how to clone the repository. Now the only thing is, now Anya user has done something. Now Nannu want to contribute, because this is one team, Nannu and Anya team. So they want to Nannu want to contribute the code. So again, the first thing that Nannu has to do, what git config that name and example that email address that have to specify. So let us do that. Then what I'm going to do, this is important. That means another 15 minutes I will be going to take, and that will make the things even more clear. What is exactly working directory, staging area, and that. So let me go to as a Nanu user. So up to this point, what we have done, the test user created one server, then Anya user created one repository, initialized, created readme file, then it is sent to the staging area, then to the local repository, then it pushed to the remote repository. Then from remote repository, what we did, we clone that repository. Now Nano user want to contribute, but before contributing, git config -- list. So no information about this user, Nano user. So what we have to do, git config, quickly I'm going to configure -- global user dot name Nanu Gupta, and then email address we are going to specify, email, then we are going to specify, so I'm going to specify nanu@example.com. Again we will list. So it is showing. That means every developer, they have to give their information when they are collaboration. So that means now on that project, these Anya user and Nanu user, they want to collaborate. So Anya user, she just started with the readme file. Now Nanu want to contribute. So we will just create 1 or 2 files. Let me go there. So now this is very important. So what I will do, I'm into demo project. So what I'm going to do, I will create some small program, and I'm just not working program. So I'm going to create one file, fruit.c, and here I'm going to specify apple there. Then I can view. Now please remember, when we are saying we are creating the file, when I will run the command git status, that means now I've created one new file, and I'm assuming that Nanu is creating one C program. And you all know that this is not a C program. I just written one just some one line apple. Now when I'm going to run this command git status, what it is going to say, untracked file. That means we have added one file, but we are not tracking the file. The untracking file, they are in which directory? They are in working directory. That means when you have just created the directory, that file will be here, not here, not here. So let me go there. So I will be covering another 10 minutes. So let me go there. So cat, I'm just going to create one directory. I'm just going to create one file, cat fruits. And please remember, the next session, Docker, that is the most interesting session. Jenkins and Jet are always going to be boring sessions. So Apple, I'm just going to write with cat command. What we can do, we can view that file. Now, when we are going to run this git status, what is going to happen? It is saying that you have created the file, but you have not told the git to track this file. If you are not going to track the files in git, what will happen? If you are going to make changes, you cannot revert back to that, you can say, to previous changes. So that means when I'm running this command, what has happened? This is in working directory. Now what I am going to do? I will say git add fruit.c. Now the moment I say git add fruit.c, please, sometimes I've seen even after 3 or 4 years, the persons are working in GitHub, but they are not able to understand what is exactly working directory, staging area, and GitHub. They are working, but just rectification. So please remember, whenever you are creating any file, before you have add the file, that is going to be in working area. Now what I want, git add fruit.c. When I say, what happened? This is in your, that mean in working directory also this file is there. Plus what is happening? This will go into the, it will, information will move into the staging area also. And here it will, the status will change from, like in this case, what it was saying. This is the untracked file. Now from untracked file, what will happen? Now it will say changes, new file has been found. So in next thing, what we are going to say, git commit -m created a file fruit.c. That means that person has committed the code. So what will happen? What will happen? That information will. Let me, up to this point, let me run these two commands. Then we will see. Then after that, I'm not going to run any other command. We will just go through some of the slides. So let me git add, what was the file? Fruit.c. That means we have moved it to the status, staging area. Again, if we are going to run, the message changes. And now what I'm going to say, git commit -m added, mean whatever, it is the good practice, whatever you have done, added fruits.c file. And the important thing is git log. Now if somebody is going to view, what he is going to find? It is going to find that Ania user has done this thing, initial commit, then git log added fruit. That means the teacher or the project leader, he will know who has made which changes. Everything is recorded, and we can go back to that thing also. So now I will not run any command. I will quickly go through the slides. So this is, that means the same file. Now it is in working directory also. This. Now suppose, let me just, now what I have done, in this file, I'm just going to add one new fruit, pineapple. Now apple is there, pineapple. That means one line of code was there. I added another line of code. 2 lines are there. Now please remember, when I am going to add code, what will happen? Now here, staging area, the code is apple. That means in staging area, one file will be there in which will be written apple. In local repo also it will be apple. But once we have changed the data in working directory, that means same file. What will be the name of the file? Fruit.c. But if I am going to check that file in working area, it will contain the data apple, pineapple. But if I am going to check that file, what is the data in staging area, that file will be having only apple, and here also. And what about this? If I'm going to add, what will happen? Same information there, same information there. And what will happen? If I am going to add the third, so what will happen? Here, if I'm going to check, that means same file in working area, data will be different. In staging area, it will be different. In your Git repo, that means 3 versions of different files are available. And if you are finding that these 2 lining are useless, what you can do? You can revert back to this. You can revert back to this. You can revert back to this. Even if you can revert back to, that means if you have made hundreds of commit, you can revert back to any of these. So I think that will be more than sufficient because it is too much technical. So please try to go through the slides and try to do the experiment and try to create the accounts. Please, I will just create one account in github.com. That will be required. And also please create one account here also. hub.docker.com. Please in GitHub create one account, that is free account, and please on GitHub also create one account because we will be needing that accounts. So today we try to cover it Git because this is one of the important component of your DevOps, because whenever we are using DevOps, storing the code is important because for that version control system we are going to use. Now the problem is once the code, suppose it is Python code, now I need to run that code. For running that code I need either physical machine or virtual machine, but these days we do not use those physical machine or virtual machines. We use Docker containers. So we will see that whatever code is there in GitHub, so what we will do, we will see how to run that code, how we are going to run that code. For that we are going to properly discuss Docker, because these days uh, uh, using physical system, using VMs is not recommended because they are very heavy duty. These days almost 50% of the total IT industry is running on Docker. So whatever code you are going to deploy, we are going to use the Docker. So Docker we will be discussing on 27th properly. And please again come prepare with the this little bit knowledge of Linux. So let me share one thing. Who are weak in Linux, please, I just have changed the name of my channel, so just go to the youtube.com. Let me type here youtube.com. This is my channel's name. Almost 320 videos are there. On Linux videos are there. Networking videos are there. So certain advanced concept videos are there. If you are not comfortable, already almost 150 videos on Linux are there, how to install. So just who the people who are not comfortable with the Linux, just go through the first 6 to 7 videos, how to install, how to run basics commands, because this is going to be handy. And please remember, students, you cannot in future survive without the knowledge of DevOps concept, especially the topic that we are going to discuss day after tomorrow, Docker. That is a game changer in industry. So we will be going into very, very great detail. But again, Git is also required. So we have not fully covered the Git. We will be looking at the GitHub also, because now fundamentals are clear. Please go through the slides properly. I took a lot of time in creating these slides and making so that you are able to understand step by step although these are 40 slides, but it took days for creating these slides systematically. So please go through this. So now I will take the questions. Any questions students are having?
Students, any question?
And next time a 3-hour class means 3 hour. It could be 3.5. It will not be 2.5. So please, I have to cover a lot of things.
Hello,
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
sir. You are sharing the video na in WhatsApp group.
Beta, we have recorded the whole session. We will be
Yeah.
sharing in your WhatsApp group after this, so that tomorrow is a holiday. You can practice it.
That is why I covered the JIT today, because this was the one of the critical components, so that you can practice on Linux also. Please, students, please go through some videos on Linux. That is must.
Okay, sir, that is very good. You have taken Git today so that we can practice it. We have tomorrow a day with us.
Can I do all these activities in Git bash, sir?
Which?
Git bash, sir.
Yes, you can do that also. But again, I will recommend you please stick to the install some Linux system in virtualization, do the things there, because in Docker also we will be using Total Linux, Jenkins, Total Linux. So you can use that also, Jet Bash also. Is this clear?
There is one question. We have done everything today on CentOS. We could do same thing on Ubuntu also.
Yes, you can do same. You can do.
So then, is there any special reason we are using CentOS?
Because in industry, mostly this is more stable distribution. In industry, mostly CentOS is used. Ubuntu is for personal systems. So in one Jenkins, I will be using Ubuntu, but please keep it CentOS. But you can do the experiment on Ubuntu also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. It was very nice session.
Torture also, I think, a little bit. I feel.
No, sir, it was good. We have recorded your session, so we will circulate this also, so that those who have not, even we have not practiced all the things, because it is not possible to do everything.
Yes, ma'am.
When
Not possible.
we can listen or we can do it. So that's why
लिंक मेरे को भी भेज देना, so that अगर किसी को और जरूरत होगी तो उसको भी शेयर कर दूंगा.
The link of video, that's definitely will share.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We'll meet on Wednesday.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Happy Republic Day.
Same to you. So I'm leaving.
Okay, sir. Thank you.